Good morning and welcome to another pre-market review session with the market trader. My name is Ray, the market trader. And before we get started, we'll need to go through our risk disclosure. So we'll go ahead and go through that. All right. So just want to remind everyone that the content that's being published and distributed by the market trader and its affiliates is to be treated as general information only. None of the information provided by the company or contained herein is intended as investment advice or an offer to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any future security, company, or fund. We all understand that the use of this information contained herein is to be used at your own risk, and the company and its partners, representatives, agents, employees, and contractors assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of such information. Future trading does carry a fair amount of risk. It's not for an investor. An investor could potentially lose all or more their initial investment, and only risk capital that we can otherwise afford to lose should only be used when trading the markets. And nothing contained here and again is solicitation or an offer to buy, sell futures, options, or forex. And past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so now that we've gotten through the risk disclosure, guys, we're going to go ahead and turn our attention to our the news. Okay, and we're just going to pause here for a bit and make sure that I have that displayed here. Okay, so here we are. We're just going to pause here for about. Okay. Okay. All right. So what do we have in the way of news? Well, we have the biggest news, I think, is coming in from crude oil, right? We have inventories coming in today at 10:30 a.m. We have some news coming in from Dallas on the energy at 9:30 a.m. We have some bond yield information coming in at 1 p.m. And then we have a number of Fed members, including our president, speaking throughout the day here. Okay, but I would say that the bigger news is still to come. We have tomorrow we have initial jobless claims. We have core CPI, and then we close out the week with some more inflationary and home sales and things of that nature. So a fair amount of news coming our way, but relatively light, I would say, outside of crude oil today. Okay, all right. Let's go ahead and move into the markets here, and we'll take a look. Where is it? Okay, there it is. Okay. All right. Okay. So we have, let's go ahead and start off with gold. We'll start off with the daily chart here. Okay. And hopefully you guys see my charts. All right. All right. So quite the bullish pattern in the gold, right? We are, if we're just looking at the more recent set of candles here, you can see that we've been making some higher highs and higher lows in this market. We are currently developing a bullish candle here, and honestly looking to break above 4,400. Let's see, so the open here is 4,475. High is 4,400. Okay, so that's kind of our line in the sand. Now, assuming that we can get to that level, assuming that we can get above, that could lead to a pretty significant move to the upside, right? We had a nice leg to the upside, a little bit of a pullback over part of October, and from October, late October till now, we've been on a steady climb in the gold. Okay, So the question now becomes, can the market get above this 4,400 level with some volume? If so, then that could translate to another pretty significant leg here to the upside. And I'm just gonna kind of forecast this here a little bit, just since I see this leg here. Extension from the lows here all the way up to the highs down to the hit. So this could easily get us close to the 5,000 level. Okay. There would be the 100% extension of this level here, assuming that we can break this level above. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead now and take a look at the, let's see here. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the 4-hour chart here. All right, so 4-hour chart, we'll turn off the initial balance for a bit. Okay, so initial balance now. Sorry, the 4-hour chart. We see that we're in some sort of, we have more in the way of maybe overlapping candles. We are in some sort of range here at the moment from 43, let's say 4,300, all the way to the highs, let's say 4,385. You see something in the way of overlapping candles. Now we did take a dip below, okay, structure here, and with the refine, we found buyers, right? 4,300. Since we reached 4,300, we had a very strong bullish candle here, right? A bullish candle here to the upside. Okay, and we've been to the upside ever since. Okay, taking a look at the 30-minute chart. All right, 30-minute chart over the last couple of candles here. These last couple of candles have been quite strong, and we are about to potentially break some structure here to the upside. Okay, you can see that 4360 is about to get price is about to get above 4360, which has been a prior level of a resistance. Okay. So the fact that if we do manage to do this, then I would say 4380 is very much in the cards, and then ultimately maybe as high as this number that I had mentioned, 4,400. Okay, all right. So let's take a quick look here and see. Let's see what the initial balance had to offer. Let's start with a fixed range volume profile here. All right, so we'll start out with the fixed range volume profile. We'll start off with yesterday's market here. So let's see. Start of yesterday. Drag that across to today. Oops. Do this again. Today is, yeah, that was actually correct. Let's move that there to the close. Okay, so you can see that with this close of this candle, we closed above value, indicating that the market sentiment at the moment is bullish. Okay, and if we didn't have enough information, that the fact that we were breaking structure to the upside wasn't enough, you can see that price is above our VWAP, above our 9 EMA. Okay, so indicating that there's a fair amount of interest in this market to the upside. Okay. We're going to go ahead now and take a look at the initial balance across the various markets. We're going to go ahead and start off with the Asia market. So you can see that the Asia made a move to the upside, gave us a nice 15-2 IB extension move here, right? We got a break of the initial balance back down to the initial balance range high, and then off we went. We got another attempt at it, came down, maybe made a little bit of a deeper pullback, but nonetheless held initial balance high, and off we've gone. Okay, looking at the London also offering us an extension as we speak. Unfortunately, at this point, probably what we need to be waiting for, if the market is going to provide us, is a little bit of a pullback. Right. We're going to be waiting for some sort of pullback back to some sort of level. 4360 for me would be that level. Okay, 4360 would be that logical level for price to return and maybe offer us an opportunity to the upside. Okay. So I would say headed into the market, excuse me, headed into the New York session, we need to see if we can find some opportunities here to participate in this move to the upside. And so I'm going to be waiting for some sort of pullback. Okay. Some sort of pullback to these levels here. Okay. All right. So entering the session, I would say we need to continue to look for bullish opportunities. It's only if we manage to get above 43 or close to 43.82, maybe 43.82 is probably the only logical place that I see that where maybe this market could potentially stall here for a bit. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the crude oil market. Looking at the crude oil market, starting with the daily, I've taken a trade in this market in some time. Did so yesterday. All right. So now that we've broken a daily level, we closed below a daily level. Now we can look at those same levels as areas for continuation trade, right? So if the market has broken structure to the downside, right? So we can take a look at those same levels and see if it offers us opportunities for continuation move, right? So this level around 57, okay, 57, 56.89 would be that such level, maybe as high as 57.20. And that would put us right below the 9 EMA, and that could offer us maybe a location for a continuation move to the downside. Nonetheless, the market remains bearish. Sorry. Moving down to the 4-hour chart. Looking at the 4-hour chart, we're going to go ahead and turn off our initial balance range here for a minute. You can see, right, of late that the market is now, kind of maybe picked a side. We've been in this kind of a channel for some time. And now you can see that we're starting to make some lower lows and lower highs. Now we have a developing potential bearish engulfing candle that could offer us the opportunity for a possible continuation move to the downside, right? We have 57 above us that's serving as resistance. Moving down to the 30-minute chart, okay? 30-minute chart, you can see that, again, we maybe in the overnight, we had some buyers of this market. Now, and then now that we've gotten into maybe part of London here, you can see that maybe the sellers may have stepped in around an area of balance here around 56.60. And now we're starting to see maybe of late that maybe the market is indeed going to maybe revisit settlement down below here at 55.27. Okay. Taking a look at the fixed range volume profile. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the start of the market here, drag that across to the close here. All right, there it is. So you can see that we are above value, right? We're above value from yesterday. So fair number of buyers kind of stepped into this market, right? So now, so we're above value. So technically, kind of bullish sentiment here on the shorter term. Now, assuming that we can get below, as I mentioned, below the 9 EMA, which we have already done, and below the VWAP with this close of this 30-minute candle, I think there is a reasonable chance that we come back and revisit settlement, okay, down below here at 55.20, okay? That would not be out of the realm of possibilities here. Okay, so let's take a look now at the initial balance here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start off with the Asia market. And Asia looks like it was a bit on the bullish side. Okay, so you can see here on the tail end, right, of the session, we opened the market with a bullish candle and basically kind of grinded our way to the upside until we got to London, where we did get our break to the upside. Okay, we did get a nice break to the upside, and now it looks like we're back inside a balance range. Okay, so now the question becomes, it seems to me that we're certainly a foregone conclusion here to get back down to 55.75 at least. And if we break 55.75, I think that opens the door for us to maybe revisit settlement below. Okay, so headed into the market or headed into the session, I would have to say that the market is I would say I'm going to remain with my my bearish kind of stance on this market. I think we've broken some daily levels. This to me seems like a kind of a retest of the level that was been broken. Right, we kind of broke it above here, broke below it, and now looks like we're kind of retracing, finding some sellers in this market, and so I would say headed into the session that I'm still looking for kind of bearish opportunities in this market. Okay. All right, let's go ahead. Let's take a peek here. Just going to make kind of a quick mention here to if you're not already a subscriber, I would encourage you to do so. If you have not hit the likes, I would encourage you to do so, especially if you find that some value here in this analysis is supporting you in your analysis of the markets. I would encourage you to hit the like button, and if you haven't done so already, and in some time, then maybe leaving a comment or two on the channel would also be quite welcomed. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and take a look now at the equity markets, and let's go to the equity of choice of everyone, and that is the Nasdaq. Okay, so we had rollover, right? The equities rolled over, and it's in the process of rollover. I would say moving their contracts from the to the next month. Okay. And you can see here that we are of late, right, developing a little bit in the way of some bullish candles here, right? So we had a candle, we got a nice rejection candle away and close up at the highs of this wick. And now we have a developing bullish candle, which indicates that maybe we are in maybe the potential of a move back higher. Now, before I'm willing to embrace this move, I would say that it's certainly on the daily, I need to see price get above 25,770 because I feel like we are still somewhat in kind of bearish control with this bearish candle here. Okay. This ominous bearish candle is still indicating to me that, sellers can step in at any time in this area. Okay. Assuming that we can get above this area, above this, let's say this, what was that? Let's call it 25,785. Then I would say that maybe this structure is starting to show more signs of bullish. Okay, so I see so with the Nasdaq again, while we are seeing maybe something in the way of some bullish, we are in a larger kind of consolidation pattern. Okay. So I would have to assume that at some point we're going to retest the highs here, okay, and we are in the kind of this triangle pattern, right? So we've kind of reacted away from it, okay. So we need to see price get above that in order for me to really embrace the longs. All right, take a look at the 4-hour chart. We're going to go ahead and turn off the initial balance range. We can see that price has kind of reacted away from settlement. Okay. This is probably another, right? Away from settlement. You see price has broken some structure here to the upside. But as I mentioned, right, we're still in somewhat bearish control here. So until price can get above, let's say maybe the first area of resistance, and then ultimately get above this level, right? I have to be I have to be cautious on any sort of long, right? Because obviously it's not giving us a whole lot of room between here and here to maybe take on a sustained move here to the upside. And then I have this area here around 25,700, 750 that could also be a resistance zone. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at the 30-minute chart. Again, you can see that price is above settlement. You can see that price is above our VWAP and a VWAP that's sloping to the upside. So you can see that on the shorter term time frame that we are seeing some bullish structure to the upside. Okay, we've kind of temporarily established here this level of 25,500 as an area of resistance here on the 30-minute chart. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the fixed range volume profile, right? And take a look at the start of the session on yesterday here, and excuse me, and drag that across here. Okay, there it is, right? So you can see that we have a fair number of buyers in this market, right? You can see that price is above our value range. So now let's take a look at the initial balance. We're going to go ahead and move this to Asia to start and get a sense for what Asia was able to do with this market. And Asia was able to take this market higher, right? We got up to close to the 250% extension before we saw any sustained kind of selling going on. Okay. Now the question becomes, can we get above 25,500? Right? If we can get above 25,500, we can maintain this move. But what's developing at this point, we're developing a little bit of a resistance zone here, right? We got a little bit of a push to the downside. We found some buyers, but the buyers have not been, I would say, strong enough to sustain the influx of sellers that have come in. So as long as price remains below this 25,500 level, I think it opens the door, for the market to possibly move to the downside. Okay. Let's see if I can find my arrow here. Okay, we'll use this one. Okay, there it is, right? You can see our resistance zone. We did react away from VWAP, but with this reaction, it did not create a candle that could break this range. So that's giving me a little bit of a sign that maybe the buyers are not as strong as I think they are, right? And maybe it's creating an opportunity for a move further lower, right? Let's take a look here at the London. All right, looking at London, you can see that London did manage to get above. Okay, so another bullish move. Now the question is price going to be able to hold above the initial balance high for London and offer us a continuation move? Okay, is it going to offer us a continuation move to the upside? Okay, just looking, seeing. Right? Is it going to offer us a move like this and then a back move higher? Okay, that's kind of what I'm looking for. So if we get below 25,440, I would say that opens the door for maybe price to come back to settlement down below here at 25,382. Okay, so kind of a little bit of a mixed bag here. Okay, we see that on the larger time frame, we are in some sort of, I would say, maybe a little bit of a bearish pattern here. If we look closer to what the market is providing us, we can see that maybe we have broken a little bit of structure here to the upside, but I'm not really liking the strength of this bullish move, right? It seems more of a grinding move to the upside, maybe not enough market participation that we need in order to continue to drive the price higher. And as a result, we're starting to see a little bit of weakness in this market. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to the ES here. We'll start with the ES. Well, I'll start, but we'll follow up with the ES. Start off with the daily. Okay. And you can see, right? I don't know about you, but I'm not really super excited about this kind of formations, right? You can see a lot of indecision here, right? A lot of overlapping price action, right? Indicating that there is really not a whole lot behind, or actually there's no aggressive buyers or sellers at the moment, right? So we've been in range, right, between 6,900 and 6,825. Okay, so yeah, so daily is not giving me really a strong indication on either direction, right? Before we developed this area, this zone, we were bullish, right? We got to this area around 6,900. And now it seems like we're having a little bit of difficulty getting above 6,900. Moving down to the 4-hour chart. Looking at the 4-hour chart, we're going to go ahead and turn off our initial balance ranges. Take a look and see what this is offering us. Okay, again, we got to a level here around 68.80. We kind of sold away from it. Found some buyers here at 68.25. Got back up to 68.80. Again, we found some sellers. So right now, like I said, one of my prior mentors said that if you can fit price inside a box, you are inside some sort of range, right? If you cannot fit or contain price in a box, then you're in some sort of trend, right? Well, I can fit price in a box, right? I can contain price in a box. So that's telling me that we are in some sort of range price action, right? Taking a look at the 30-minute chart. All right, 30-minute chart here. There's our box, which we don't need anymore, right? I can see that we are in some sort of range, right? 68.80, 68.30 or 20, sorry. And let's take a look at the fixed range volume profile and see where price is in relation to yesterday's price action. Okay. And we'll drag that across to the close here, right about there. Okay, so you can see that while technically we are above value from yesterday, price is falling, right? So again, a level that I'm going to be watching, right? We came back to this level, found some buyers, created a buying wick, but that buying wick was not very sustained, right? We got to a level here up at the highs, right? And got to a level here at the highs and now found some more sellers. So I would say that this value area high here at 68.65 is going to be an important level, right? Because if it can't hold that level, I don't see any reason why we can't get and reach 68.60. Okay. So this is an important level for me. If we can't hold that level, then I would say that 68.55 or 68.60 is probably going to be reached. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's take a look at the initial balance across the various sessions here. We'll start off with the Asia market and see where Asia has been able, what Asia has been able to do with this market. So you can see here, similar to what we saw on the NASDAQ, we got a push above, got a little bit of a pullback inside, and then we found some buyers of this market. We got to the 200 plus extension of the initial imbalance range and found some sellers up at the top of the range, up in areas where we found sellers in the past. Taking a look at London. All right, London here, you can see that London also managed to get above. We have, again, another indication, another kind of test point here to see if we are indeed going to be able to maintain this kind of bullish push that we've received. Okay. If not, again, if we close back inside the initial balance range for London, possibly get below VWAP. VWAP is going to be kind of my line in the sand. If we can't hold VWAP, then I would say that we're in store for another maybe rotation, right? Another rotation back down to the lows, right here. Okay, that's kind of what I'm seeing right now, right? We have a little bit of, we got a rounding top. We got price is maybe created a little bit of structure here on the top end, right? Unable to make a new high. And now we're starting to see some price action. So market, again, as I kind of opened with the daily, market does appear to be in some sort of range. I would say that range strategies are kind of in play here. So we have to wait for the extremes of these ranges and see whether we can participate in that leg of that range, right? And right now, I would say that leg of that range is to the bearish side. Okay. All right. I think that's pretty much what I have for the ES. Let's go ahead and move on to the Dow. Let's take a look at the Dow here. We'll start off with the daily. We'll go ahead and remove some of my drawings. Okay. So again, not exhibiting as much of the range that we were seeing in the ES. Okay. But some range, right? So you can see that this is a prior level of resistance now appears to be somewhat supportive, right? We're seeing that price is able to remain above this level here at what is that? 48,395. You can see that price is above our 9 EMA. Not necessarily an EMA that I use to follow on this high of a time frame, but nonetheless, you can see that price is above that. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and move it down to the 4-hour chart. So looking at the 4-hour chart, we'll go ahead and turn off initial balance here for a moment. Okay. So you can see that price is again now exhibiting a little bit more what we were saying earlier with the ES, seeing a little bit more in the way of range, right? I would say that maybe a little bit stronger on the bearish side, right? These candles on the bearish side seem to be a little bit more ominous than the candles that we're seeing on the bullish side, right? So this certainly sellers present around 4,800. Okay, 48,800. Okay. So 4-hour is showing us a little bit more in the sort of range kind of price action. Okay, moving into the 30-minute chart. Okay, you can see that price is above our settlement price, right? Above our 9 EMA, above our VWAP. So I have to say that the market is showing some signs of bullish price action. But again, right, I still feel like we are still in somewhat bearish control here, right? As long as price remains inside this swing, I kind of, there's always the possibility that sellers could step in at any moment here. Okay, anywhere in this area, right? Sellers could potentially step into this market, right? So as long as we remain here, I have to look at the possibility of maybe sellers coming in and driving the market further lower. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and open up the fixed range volume profile. Let's see where price is in relation to current price action here. So we'll open that up, and we'll take a look at the start of the session here, or start of the yesterday's session back here. Drag that across to the close here. And you can see that we are right smack in balance, right? Right smack in the middle of balance. So indicating that maybe we're going to have to be a little bit more patient and wait for better price location to participate in this market. What would be some locations that I would be interested in? Well, certainly above here around 48,688 would be a logical place to look. And then I would say this location down below at 48,407. So sellers, I'm a seller up at these levels, a buyer potentially down at these levels. Kind of that would support this kind of range kind of view. Okay. Looking at the initial balance ranges across the various markets. So we'll go ahead and open up the Asia session. Okay. Asia was again bullish. Okay. London was, I think, initially bullish. Okay, initially bullish, right? Bullish as well. And we got a nice little reaction away from the highs of the London range. Now the question becomes, can we make a new high? If so, then I think it opens up the door for us to get to the other side of value, right? Because we got to one side of value, found some buyers, and now it appears that maybe there's a possibility that we could reach the other side of value here at 48,700. If not, and we start to break the 9 EMA, get below the VWAP, then I think that opens the door for a continuation move to the downside. Okay. So, and then I can use my channels here to kind of help me and guide me as onto the timing of that. Okay. So that's kind of what I have for you for the equity markets. I was going to take a peek here. We have about 7 minutes remaining. Take a look at the silver. Okay. Here, take a look at silver. All right. Well, silver's looks like taking a little bit of a dive here. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and open up the initial balance ranges here. Current session. Let's see. That's not what I wanted. This one right here. Okay, there it is. All right. So we had a bullish candle, relatively narrow range, and then looks like we found some sellers. Assuming that this candle will indeed close the way it's closing, then I think it opens up the door. Looks like maybe a little bit of a repair day, right? Take care of all the single prints that have been established here. That could cause the market to maybe come back and revisit 63,350. All right, the settlement price on the other side of the range. Certainly at least to 64. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and mark these levels. All right, as areas of maybe some opportunity here, right? So there's the level here to the long side. Okay, so that would be logical. So seeing a little bit of a weakness here. I'm going to take a look here on the daily. Daily still strong, right? But we're getting a little bit of rejection here in the short term. 4-hour. Okay, again, we got our break, and now we're seeing a little bit of weakness now. Right. So the question is this just a pullback? Pretty significant pullback, if you ask me. But is this just a pullback to find better pricing to continue to drive pricing, or do we have some sustained sellers that are intent in driving this market to the other side of the range here? Okay. So again, I'm going to be kind of keeping my eyes peeled around the 64 level to see what the 64 level it has to say. Should price get to it? Okay. So maybe showing maybe some beginnings of maybe bearish. Okay. But if I'm going to remain bearish, I can't. I don't want to see price get above this level, right? If I broke this level, and we are serious about moving lower, I don't want price to, easily get above this level, right? Those 65,500. Okay. If it can do that, then this is just an attempt to, kind of sweep the books here a little bit to, for their next leg higher. Okay. It could be kind of a little bit of a fake out move, right? So, drive a lot of weak buyers here up at the highs, wash them out, and then the bigger players coming in and scooping up what they liquidity that was provided. Okay. All right. So again, still a little light on the like indicator, guys. So would encourage you guys to hit the like button if the analysis is indeed supporting your understanding of the markets. Also, if you would be open to leaving a comment or two on the portal to indicate how this analysis is supporting your trading would be welcomed. If you're not already a subscriber, I would encourage you to do so. Okay, to add yourself as a subscriber, and then we'll if there's no other questions here, guys, we'll go ahead and close the session as we close most sessions, and that is trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. All right, guys, have an excellent day trading, and we'll talk again soon.